Okay, so now we're headed over here. And this is where we get hardy durians to start with. And don't blow yourself up. But again, I switched to my axe. And these guys, when you cook them, give you 4 extra hearts, yellow hearts. And so with them, very soon, hearts won't be an issue. So again, stamina is what we get from the goddess, and then hearts you get here from items that give you extra hearts. Cut that down, that was weird. It never hurts to just do a quick sweep. Make sure you got all of them. These are just acorns. We got those anyway. And then there's one more hardy truffle right over here. Should grab that. And ice arrows, in my mind, are the most powerful arrow in the game, because not only do they do elemental damage as well as the damage of your weapon, they also freeze your enemy, giving you time to run up to them. And if you freeze them when they haven't noticed you yet, and you attack them, the game acts like you snuck up on them, and so you can still sneak strike chain them after the fact. So, which I'm sure I'll show a demonstration of here in a minute. So this little area here is the apple orchard, and there are almost a few hundred apples here. You get them all. I recommend that you get something in the order of 60 plus. If you get that many, there won't be, basically you will have so much food you can't run out of hearts just by eating, let alone the yellow hearts. The yellow hearts that we will cook the durians to get will mostly be used primarily for fighting. If you know you're going to go into fight a difficult enemy. So we're already at 78 apples, so that's plenty. So I'm going to warp back here and pick up a few more good ingredients. And then we'll work back one more time and start heading on the route. So this Satori Mountain is really a place to pick up food and ingredients that allow you to get yellow hearts and also yellow stamina. Two of the most powerful foods in the game. So if you want, right here you can pick up this chest, which has horse gear in it. I'm not going to bother, assuming that you have the downloadable content. I feel like I just missed one. Oh, there it is. Again, it's nice to use stasis. I am going to grab some Silent Princess. There's more over here. And then this Hardy Truffle. Anything that says Hardy gives you extra yellow hearts. after 9 p.m. there'll be a skeleton here of Lizalfos. It has a decent bow. A strengthened Lizalfos bow. But again, now that we've got our Forest Dweller's bow, which shoots 3 arrows, we're not too worried about it. So grab these princesses, and then head down to this lake. Sometimes if you come here, it's raining. But here it's not, so there's one more. Korok seed that I'm going to get because it's not raining. So wood is used for making fires, of course, and that is one of the best things for using it for. But it's also used in some of the side quests. Because it was raining, or it wasn't raining, I could burn that with my fire arrow. Strictly speaking, I don't need those apples, but they're there, so... Here you want to get out a spear weapon. So we're going to go over here, and there's going to be a stall Lizalfos that has a spear. Right there with the spear. Just go right at him. Can't swim either. Yeah, so if for some reason you've broken your spear, you can grab that one. One of your spears. But you don't need it. Weird. I'm washed up all over here. So, the way that cooking works, there are lots of good charts that show you how cooking comes together, and I might try to include one in the description of the video. But ingredients have different effectivenesses, and they're usually listed by low, medium, and sometimes high. And the reason why that matters is, for example, most most ingredients need 7, a total of 7 count, so you can only put 5 ingredients together. So if you have an ingredient that has a medium effectiveness, which is a 2, and you put 2 of those ingredients together, which, like the Fleet Lotus Seed, is a speed up effectiveness, and so if I have 2 of those, they're worth 2 each. So that you add that up, that's 4. And then if I have some Rushrooms, if I have 3 Rushrooms, that 4 plus, 3 Rushrooms, which are worth 1 each, that's 7. And so if I hold 5 of those in my hand and I cook them, that means that I've made a meal with effectiveness 7. And the reason that matters is because that will give you the highest speed up, so it'll give you 3 times speed up meal, which is what you want. So from here, it isn't strictly necessary. There's this guy has another Dragon Ball Modern Club, which is kind of nice. I might trade that. Let's see. I think I'm done with my axe for now. I might swap that out, actually. So down here are a bunch of Endura Shrooms. And I'm going to grab some and then head on. I think this big tree is the first one to have any. If you can wind bomb, Endura meals are a huge benefit because you need to be able to mid-air increase your stamina. And meals of that type also regenerate your hearts, and every time you wind bomb, you're blowing yourself up basically. And so replacing your hearts and your stamina mid-flight is really a big deal. We will use it some, but I'm sort of just showing it to you in case wind bombing is the thing you do. But again, my goal here is to show, so there's a bunch of them here. I'm not going to go through this whole little area. So anyway, you can go that direction and get all the rest of them, but I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to move on to my next shrine. After that, we will head to Rito Village. So I recommend that you climb up as high as you can here, again with a mix of jumping and whistle sprinting. Actually, I lied. Might get ahead of myself here. So we'll go ahead and drop a bow. So I've been using this one. Drop this instead, or grab this instead. It's 25. So down here, over this cliff, are... I don't want to go down there, actually. Not yet. So at nighttime, you can see the stall guys, and like he's got a spiked club. But down here are some that have Dragon Bone Moblin clubs. So if you feel like you need those, you can go down there and get them. I don't feel like we need them. So what you're looking for here is, and then that guy, if you can see him right above where Link's glider is, he also has a Dragon Bone Moblin club. But I feel like I have plenty of good weapons now. And the beauty of these stall creatures is they come back after every blood moon. So so you can get them again and again. Yeah, we're good there. So here you have to shoot an arrow through these rings to get the shrine to appear. I'm not gonna worry about those guys. Alright. Here we go. So, with this bow, it won't shoot that far, so you have to shoot about here, and then the drop on the arrow, or just a little bit higher, makes it actually go through. It won't shoot that far straight. It won't shoot that far, but it's got to drop at that point. Once we get a falcon bow, a swallow bow, ancient bow, those have a much further distance that they will do. So here's the thing you can do, you can just pick this guy up and throw him. Boom. Which I always think is funny. Should have used my saber that's already damaged. But that's okay. Okay. So we're gonna give up a weapon to get a weapon here. So I'm gonna drop this spear. Oh no, I dropped it on the thing right away, which starts the... A lot of times what I try to do is drop it and then it's not on that button, so I can stand on the platform while I use magnesis to move a metal weapon onto the button. I don't have to wait for this whole series of sequence, but I forgot the spears are so long. So Satori Mountain has some of the best ingredients. It's got the lotus seeds that allow you to do speed up with value 2. It's got the hardy durians. It's got the endura, both carrots and shrooms, which allow you to make a meal that will refill all of your stamina plus give you extra. So it's a pretty powerful place. There are individual places that have a lot more, say of the hardy durians. The Faran area has that. So if you're just looking for a whole bunch of them, you can go there. But to be able to go to one place, the Satori Mountain, have this shrine at the top of it, so you can glide down to all these different locations, get stuff. Very powerful in terms of getting quickly overpowered. I'd hate to say overpowered. Basically just being able to have the wherewithal to really start to engage in the higher parts of the game. So Link has no native damage without a weapon of any kind. Really, he can do a shield spin, and that can do damage, but natively doesn't do any damage. So in this game, the better weapons you can get a hold of, the more powerful you are, regardless of anything else, because he will just do that amount of damage. So if you have a 45 weapon, he'll do 45 damage. Now, if there's modifiers, which matter a lot, like if you can get... So, okay, just to pause for a minute. Where we're really going next, Rito Village is over here, and you can see Ba Meadow here. We are going to go to that shrine, but where we're really going eventually is the tower. And the tower, if you want to mark it, makes a nice mini-map point. If you can wind bomb, you can just wind bomb. We're actually going right over here, right behind this platform is a shrine, but here on this little area is a Lionel, and I would avoid him. There is a rare Talus right about here, and you can head over there and grab that if you want, but I'm just going to go straight for the shrine. And so here we have plenty of height for gliding all the way over there, but we may need some more stamina. One thing you can do now that you have 4 spirit orbs, you could warp to the Great Plateau and go to the goddess statue on the Great Plateau, get another stamina, and come back. But I'm going to skip that. I'm just going to use the stamina I have until I get to Rito Village, where there's another goddess statue. For this early game, getting the goddess statue at the Rito Village is kind of a really nice thing. The Rito Village is, I guess, in general, a really nice thing, because Rito Village has a place where you can sleep that will give you 3 extra yellow hearts and a full stamina. Extra stamina wheel, which is really nice. It has a place where you can buy stuff, including arrows. Just having access to one of the upper villages. You know, Hateno Village and Kakariko Village are nice, but you don't get the same benefits from there. We will be going there, but I think going to Rito Village first is the right move. So again, right up there is a Lionel, so we're going to stay down here. If you want to go right to Lionel, that's up to you. You should definitely save first. You do have good enough weapons at this point, including the 3-shot bow, which allows you to do critical hits on the face shot easier than a single shot bow. But again, at this level of hearts, it's 1 shot. If he hits you at all, you're dead. So many enemies, if you fight them, even if they'll do a little bit more damage than, even if they should kill you with one hit. There's a in the normal play, there's a thing where if you have full hearts, any hit will leave you with a quarter heart, but not. He does so much damage that not him. So I am going to. The next shrine is a major test of strength. I'm probably going to do that major test of strength. So I choose a bomb arrow here. You don't have to, but it's makes it so easy. And because otherwise you're hitting it with. Oh no! I have never had that happen. Yeah, I think I have to go back out and make it go back in there then. That's hilarious. Normally it just rattles it around, but normally you stasis it, you shoot with an arrow, and if you shoot at the right moment, it changes the way that it falls. And but I've found that a bomb arrow, but that's hilarious. I've never had it throw it out of there like that. Let's try that again. I'm still going to use a bomb arrow. Yeah, that's more like what I'm used to. I like they turn the camera, and of course they do that because there's something up here you should see. So shoot this, and it needs to be a single shot bow. You have a 3-shot bow, but if you shoot a 3-shot bow, you'll open the door and it will then close it as well. So shoot these ropes here. And, for some reason I must always get only one arrow back. And then I'm going to drop a bow. This is a falcon bow. So this is our first falcon bow. I'm going to soon have way too many bows. So I think it's time to drop. Sometimes I keep these low effect bows around because when I want to freeze enemies in certain situations, I don't want them to die. But I'm not going to worry about it here now that I think about it. So I'm not going to do any pull time bounces of that type in this route. So, over here, it's kind of hard to see, right there, there's a skull, and there are 2 watchers guarding it, and the bokoblins inside have some pretty good weapons. It's not a bad place to get some upgraded weapons after a blood moon, if you need to. We don't need to in this case, but don't strictly speaking need to grab this stuff, but I struggle not to. It's the ooh shiny factor, I think. So you guys want to talk to this guy right here. He's going to give you 500 rupees, which is really handy. And And then here's our cooking pot. So you sort it with Y, and then I'm going to cook 2 of these at a time. So if you see each, that gets me 8 yellow hearts. And of course I had 16, so I get 8 of these meals, and then I've got a few extra ingredients that will give me yellow hearts, so I ended up with about 10 of these. I feel like 8 is the right number of yellow hearts with hardy durians, rather than like cooking 3 at a time, for example, to get 12, because you get the red hearts as well, and I feel like 8 hearts, at least for this time being, nothing can do enough damage to one-shot you if you have one of those, if you've already eaten one. So, but if you have 12, and you get hit, like if I go to the major test of strength and get hit, for example, so I'm going to cook. It'll take away enough hearts that the next time I get hit, it will kill me. So it's not worth, it's not like I can get 2 hits and then not get, assuming that he uses his major axe, which does a lot of damage, so. So yeah, and then we're going to cook these one at a time because they just refill your entire stamina. I don't know why I did that. And this part of the game is just sort of slow and repetitive, but you just gotta stick with it. I'm also going to cook 2 of these at a time, which does a whole refill on the stamina wheel. Just so I cook them. I could do more Endura carrots, but because I'm assuming that you're watching this, I don't want to make it take too long. Of course, you can cook some stamina shrooms. You can cook all your Endura carrots. So Silent Shroom, just to talk about recipes again, has an effectiveness of 1. So if I cooked 4 of these, I would have a meal that gives me sneakiness, but in order the threshold to go to 2, to a sneakiness level 2 is 5. So if I cooked all these, I still wouldn't be sneaky enough to have, I wouldn't be any more sneaky than if I only cooked 1, but it would just last longer. Each ingredient gives you a time modifier, so you can cook like 1 of these, and then eggs give you a minute of, they're a modifier that gives you a minute. These actually give you 15, I think it's 15 seconds, 10 seconds. Different ingredients give you different modifiers. Apples give you none. Hylian shrooms give you no time modifier. But these silent princesses are worth 2. So if I cook 5 of those, I'm doing a meal that has an effectiveness of 10, which I only need to get up to 7. So the reason you cook 2 of these and 3 of these is, I'm at 7 now. The silent princesses have an effectiveness of 2. Or maybe they have an effectiveness of 3. Maybe I should be looking that up. I know that the Fleet Lotus Seeds, for example, have an effectiveness of 2. And that matters because it just gives you the counter, because it's 5 and 7 in general. In general, if you have an effectiveness of a meal of 5, it will give you a 2 up. So I'm going to click X to stop holding. Right, so Silence Princess actually has effectiveness of 3. So 2 of these plus 1 shroom. And now I will get a sneaky up by 3, but it will only be of a shorter duration because I have everything else. So I can add 2 more minutes by holding 2 eggs. Click that. So that didn't work. We got a sneakiness of 2. That's because the sneakies need a higher threshold. It's 9, not 7. That's why. So let's do 3 of these and 2 of these. And that should give me 9, which gives me a sneaky up of 3. So that's how the cooking works. With stealth, sorry, with speed, for example, right? So if I hold 2 of these, or let's hold 3, and then 1 of these, so 3 of the 2 of the ingredients that have a value of 2, if I hold 3 of those, that's 6, and then plus 1 more is 7. So even though I'm only holding 5 ingredients, this is going to give me a speed up, but it only gives me 4 minutes. If I had held 1 more mushroom, I could have gotten up to 5 minutes, or 450, I'm sorry. So anyway, that's how the meals work. There's some really good tables that tell you what ingredients do what. I talked to Beetle mostly to get his arrows, because I already have 500 rupees. I'm not going to sell him anything at this stage, because I'm going to sell stuff in Rito Village as well, and that way I don't have to go through that twice. So you can grab, this is another butterfly for my daughter who loves to get all the butterflies. Get a little butterfly collection. So you're just going to run across here. I might actually eat one of those speed up, or that's one speed up I did. Just because this is sort of long. Again, typically I just wind bomb over here, but one of the reasons why I like the Bokoblin camp at the skull that I showed you right with the last shrine, I don't know if that all makes sense, but I realized I didn't say this. If you go over there, one of the things I like about it is that you can climb above the camp, and so you can glide down to the top of the skull and shoot the watchers from the top of the skull without them noticing you, and you can drop in. Anyway, I just think being able to attack from above is sort of like cheatery. So normally, if we couldn't whistle sprint, we wouldn't be able to make it up this this little hill, this mountain, whatever this is. This shows the power of whistle sprinting. Sometimes there's wolves up here, like that one. And so you got to be aware that whistle sprinting will have alerted them. But it gives you meat. So I don't usually bother with the second one. So we're going to jump over here. And you don't have to worry about that stone that's on that platform. But this is going to be rupees right here. And the next one is going to be a meteor rod, which is nice because it's a fire weapon. So I'm actually going to drop this guy. And the fire weapon is nice because when I'm wearing the warm doublet, and I have that fire weapon. If I equip that, I now have resistance against cold times 2. If you look down at the temperature gauge, it all of a sudden went up to almost too hot because I'm wearing that. So if I take it off, when you look at the temperature, it changes it. So wearing that affects it. So again, you can wind bomb up there if you can, but you can also just glide over to here, which is a little bit slow because the wind is against you, and climb to this left side, and then you're going to climb to the right side. And right here in this slope, you can whistle sprint up. Again, this is something that, because you can whistle sprint, climb. Ugh. Wait, no, I gotta refill my stamina. You wouldn't be able to make it otherwise normally. There we go. So. Wait, it's the wrong one. So I'm gonna go get the Korok seed at the bottom of this pillar. You get your stamina because you need to not. Oh, I missed. Hilarious. I wonder if you can do it from here. You can. Nice. Didn't even need to climb the door. So I just got a question mark out of something. Which means they're wondering what I'm doing. But I'm hoping I can just ignore that. So this is a major test of strength. If you don't feel up to it, you can skip it. I feel like I got some pretty good weapons here. I'm going to use this to start with. I'm going to use my freezing trick, where I try to freeze the Guardian as I run into the shrine. It's a little bit difficult because I have speed up right now. So that will help me get to him before the ice breaks, because he doesn't last it very long. And yeah, I want to be able to hit him at least once with my weapon while he's still frozen because of the damage modifier. So I like to hit him, but I like to get behind him in case he swings at me. Because again, this he does so much damage. So once they start their animation, which is actually what I wanted to do, let's switch to this weapon. So here, that stuns him. I switch weapon, but again, just come around to his backside, slam when I'm. Okay, what do I want to use? Let's use this guy. So I will actually lose more weapons than I gain here because of durability loss, but the quality of the weapons is better. And I want to get the spirit orb. If you want, you can actually just damage him with bombs here, but I think the way to go is freeze him again, get out. This does most damage, and so you notice I wasn't anywhere close to where he was going to put his sword. I was already moving before he started to, like here, I'm far enough away he can't actually hit me. But sometimes if you do it right, you can be far enough away he can't hit you, and you can get the, oh, I should be switching weapons. Here goes. So here, it gives you the updraft. You wait till it's coming towards you, the beam is coming towards you, and then you can stun him by hitting him in the eye. Oh no, better eat some food. Yeah, we'll just stick to this. It's 1500 HP. Yeah, so now it's going to turn blue. You just get a bunch of free hits as he generates his beam. Ooh, and he dropped an ancient core, which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And I do want that shield. Whenever you open a chest, it restores all of your stamina. And I think I don't want that, so. So if you hit sort, it will sort it like this, which is by damage. So like single-handed weapons by damage, and then double-handed weapons by damage, which you can see 60, 45, 32, 12, and then it'll be spears. So it's single hand, double hand, and then spears. And the other way it sorts, it took me a while to figure this out. This is by what it is in the Hyrule Compendia when you get that. So kind of a weird order, but that's why it's that way. Not sure why they think you would care to have it sorted in the Hyrule Compendium order, but so again, I like to keep one spear, but I already have a spear, so I'm not worried about the next one. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to leave this shrine and go to a great fairy fountain. Sorry, I always climb up there because I usually wind bomb from there, but in this case we won't. We're just gonna glide over here, and there's a crosswind, but so a lot of these fairies, for some reason, at this fairy fountain in particular, are higher off the ground. So I find that the way to get them, the best way, is just to like glide down to where they are, like that, and then it's usually, let's see if we can get this one. The answer is no, it's too high. So again, crouching so I don't startle them, or that fairy. I'm gonna come over here. And if you put your camera so you're directly down, and then I'm just mashing the A button. If you're right on top of him, if your camera is pointed straight down, that's how you know you're in line with the fairy. Grab these mighty thistles. They are just a level 1 attack up, but they're still worth having in the inventory. And then these Endura carrots. Every fairy fountain has Endura carrots, and Silent Princess plants. So yeah, now we're gonna get this fairy. Really, we want to have 2 fairies, so by the time we go to Hateno Village, when we get the other fairy, it'll be our second fairy fountain that we've opened. And that will allow us to upgrade things to level 2, which is really nice. Because that is the level at which things start to have their effect once they're leveled up to level 2. The stealth armor, for example, gives you speed up at night. It's not any more stealthy, it just has an added bonus. And my favorite set, the Radiant set, or otherwise known as the Bone Armor, or the Luchador set, it gives you like bone proficiency, for example. So every bone weapon you have does 80% more damage, which you can layer on top of an attack up meal. So you can take a Dragon Bone Model and Club and go from 45 damage to 81 with just the proficiency. And then we'll go ahead and level this up just because we're here. We're wearing it. And then if you do attack up, you get 40 more damage because it's 50% more for a total of 121. Which is quite a bit of damage. And of course, if you sneak strike, that does 8 times as much damage, so now you're doing basically 1,000 damage in one hit with a bone proficiency, an attack up, and a Dragon Bone Modeling Club and a sneak strike. So that's when you can really start to stack effects. And like if you have a white Moblin, I think it's more. I think it's 2 hits, but if you can sneak strike him twice, dead in 2 hits. So it's a lot less usury of your stuff. So, oh, I want to climb up here. If you wanted to, you could climb up to the top of that hill because you're going to glide over. But I'm just going to go over here to these. Now, I typically don't want to do a lot of running here because I don't want to aggro everybody, and I'm not going to whistle sprint either. Again, because I don't really want to learn anyone. I'm just going to climb up to the tower. That's my method. I'm not going to take the road, basically, is what I'm trying to say. That Pebblet is going to try to attack me, but I'm going to ignore him. So here I'll still keep climbing, but if you hit the B button to cancel the climb, you'll stand up and you get your stamina back. At this high you can whistle sprint because there's no enemies actually at the top of this hill, and they won't come up here to you. But I'm gonna climb. You know what? Maybe you can hit it from here. I'm pretty sure it's protected where you can't shoot it from there. So the idea is you must climb up this pillar and shoot it from here. Satori Mountain now has green, which means the Lord of the Mountain, which is a strange horse-looking thing. It's a cross between a horse and a bunny almost. You can always tell that because it's glowing green. If you were to teleport over there right now, all of the stall monsters are gone, and a lot of the items, all the items will have replenished, and so here I'm going to shoot, let's finish my thought, and there'll be like bugs and stuff that isn't normally there. Like where we got all those shrooms, there's going to be on that tree, there'll be a bunch of beetles, but that's, and if it's nighttime, and if it's daytime, there'll be a bunch of butterflies, and that'll be true all over, there'll be all kinds of new stuff, but it's only useful if you have the stealth armor, in my opinion. So here I want to demonstrate the difference. Right now, I'm using a strengthened Lizzle bow. I want to show you kind of the difference between ranges on these two bows. Even though this bow doesn't do as much damage, I consider it a more powerful, better bow, because here if I shoot directly at this eyeball, it misses, right? But if I use the falcon bow and do the same thing, it hits it immediately. And so there's a lot of instances where the falcon bow allows you to be further away and shoot things, which I think is really handy. So I think you basically get 3 jumps, and then you have to climb from there. Anyway, so the reason I don't go back to the Satori Mountain at this point, or, you know, I wouldn't go after getting this tower and get anything, is because I don't have the stealth armor, so in my mind it's not very useful, actually. With the stealth armor, you can totally do it. I actually find it a little bit, like, every time you talk to Beetle, once you have a bunch of beetles, he'll say, "Oh, you have a beetle. Will you sell it to me for something?" And I normally do, just because it takes a lot more words when you say no. You want him to, like, throw a temper tantrum, and again, because anyway, I just don't care about the beetles that much, and so I will sell them to him, and he'll give me something, and I usually just, like, a meal or an elixir or something, and I usually just sell it back to him. The worst thing to get from him, in my opinion, is he gives you a fairy tonic, which just does a bunch of hearts, but there's no yellow hearts. And I find that useless. But a lot of the other ones you can sell back for 60 rupees or something, which the beetles aren't worth nearly that much, so to me it's a net gain. Okay, so here at this tower is the money location for 2 stone taluses that, in my opinion, you want to go to this one first. So there's these set of trees here and this, and you can just glide over to them. So there's one on either side, basically. So we're going to go do this one first. These are both rare stone taluses, and to me this is where you one of the most efficient ways to earn the rupees is battling these 2, because every blood moon they come back. They are rare, so they will sometimes drop diamonds. And because they're rare, this stone, or the iron sledgehammer I have here, will do 4 times damage, so it hits them for 48 instead of 12. Yeah, so stand behind him like that. I'm facing away in the hopes of getting what's called double hits, which I didn't get. So because I can't kill him in one iteration, one spin to win, where you just pull out your weapon and then hold down the Y, I want to do a slam attack before I run entirely out of stamina. And when you do a slam attack, you want to jump off of him, because if you stay on, you can actually ride that, and oh man. But if you just stay on him, as soon as he stands up, he'll shake you off, and then you've lost this sort of momentum of the order being able to slam him down, jump off, and then while he's down, get back up, do a spin to win, slam him down, and over and over. This is always a hardy lizard, so you just, as soon as you pick it up, you keep mashing A. Pick up the rock, you mash A. Alright. So, our iron sledgehammer will not survive through the next stone talus. And we have good enough weapons that we could just use what we have, and I may do that. But I want to show you the trick. If you have enough weapons with enough damage to kill that first stone talus. So the very first time we drop off this tower to the left, my scope is not, there's this little watchtower here, and there's actually another watchtower right, my scope won't show you, but just below me, basically, that has a Lizalfos on it, and we're basically going to ignore him, and going to drop down this one. We're just going to grab this, and you can see him right there. He's starting to see us right above the words. And again, just ignore him. Just glide over here. You won't have time to react, basically. So if you look here, there are two enemies. So this bokoblin has that strengthened Azalfos bow, and then he has a bone moblin club, I think it's called. And so if you have enough ice arrows, which I do, a lot of times what I'll do is freeze this guy, and then freeze him. He'll run away if you give him time, and then I actually want to shoot that eyeball. And so I'm going to try to sneak strike chain this guy. So you hit him, and then he'll turn around. Oh, and it didn't work. So pick this spiked moblin club up, and I'm going to make him drop his bow. Hit him again. He's dead. So I could pick that bow up. I'm not actually going to because I don't feel like I need it. But between that spiked moblin club and this Knight's Claymore, so I'm going to drop this. Between those two, you can kill the next stone Talus with no problem. So, and that happens every blood moon. So every blood moon that the stone Talus comes back, which he's over here, and those two enemies come back with their weapons, and that Knight's Claymore appears again after every blood moon. All the weapons in the ground like that are sort of in the wild reappear every blood moon. So I would stop here and let my stamina replenish, mostly because there's going to be these, there's going to be wolves, you can see, and I let them appear because I want to, you can shoot a couple of them if you want, but make sure you keep your stamina green, because you're going to want, so I'm going to use this guy first. Basically, you don't want them attacking you, you don't want to be trying to drop off the stone Talus and have them be attacking you. So it's nice to glide down with full stamina and be able to shoot one. And then the rest run away. And it gives you meat, which, so there's the double hits. When the weapon breaks, it does do a stun. It's like it's just the same as if you did slam. And I'm actually going to use this weapon. Because I'm going to go get another one here. So there's a diamond. Usually between killing those two, you get one drop of those, one diamond drop at least. So grab some meat here. And there's always a cold Saflina. Oh look, I missed an amber. That shadow, of course, is Vomito going over the sun. So back to here. So behind us, you can see Rito Village, the big pillar. So we're going to go right over here, and inside of this rock grouping is another one of the Great Thunder Blades. And even without wind bombing, you can just glide right over there. To the right, if you go, I always go to the left because to the right side is a, there's a word I'm looking for. There's a wizrobe with electric wizrobe, and I might show you. So I don't need. He has a thunder rod, which is nice. Although I don't need it. I might show you. So in my opinion, the best way to battle one of these guys is you need to get their attention and get into bullet time, and that will knock them down. So you shoot him right in the face a few times. Probably got 3 shots, and then you want to drop down. So give myself enough stamina to run at him. And then he will pop up, get somewhere high again, wait till he appears, jump, bullet time, and he's gone. So that's the typical method for killing them, and then you get this thunderstorm rod, which does do electric damage, which is nice for going to enemies and getting to drop their weapon and stealing it and then not really having to fight them. If you come here during the night time, there's going to be some Lizalfoses. You know what, I'm not going to fight these guys. I don't care about them. So, I think what you want to do is climb up this rock. Anyway, the Lizalfoses, if you're going there and it happens to be nighttime instead of daytime, you want to have a spear so that you can take care of those Lizalfoses. So normally, I would wind bomb over there. If you don't know how to wind bomb, you just go, there's the stables, and then there's the walkway that takes you to Rito Village. So wind bombing, I actually want to climb up all the way, I think. So if you wind bomb over here, I'm probably going to wind bomb this direction. Well, that didn't work. Wow, that's hilarious. I picked it up and then I didn't cancel it. I dropped it instead. So right below me you can see there's a platform, and actually right now, if I was on it right now, I could get use a fire weapon to activate it. Anyway, so normally you'd run along that road. There are some enemies, you can just sort of avoid them if you want, but I'm gonna wind bomb over here. I don't think I can show you that. So if you can wind bomb, this is how you do it. You just wind bomb over here. I'm going to show you this cutscene, which I'm going to skip, and then because you haven't gone and talked to the old lady in Hateno Village, Zelda's going to say, Link, you got to get into that Divine Beast, because they haven't talked about Divine Beast yet. So you have this little momentary pause where she says, you can get in there.
Find a way inside in order
So,
to free it
starting
from
that
Ganon's
quest.
malice. I believe in you, Link.
If we had gone to Hateno Village already and talked to the old lady, we wouldn't get that cutscene, or that little speaking scene. So the way I always remember this is the 2 fans on the left here. Oh, and by the way, when you activate a switch like this, it does no damage to your weapon. So it doesn't matter what weapon you use. So the 2 at the left here, you hit 3 times. And then all the rest, you just hit 1. And again, if you can wind bomb, you can actually just wind bomb over that wall. And be done. But I also recommend so we did those two, and then now the rest of these just get done. There is a little hidden treasure over here, and I recommend you get it because it is a ancient core. By the time we're done with Rito Village and Von Meadow, we will have Village Gale. We will have stamina up by 3 at least. We will have, in my opinion, the best bow in the game. So here again, I'm going to switch to the Falcon Bow because it will just hit that immediately. Because the rest have drops, so you have to aim above, which is not a big deal, but which is the Great Eagle Bow is, in my opinion, the best bow in the game. Even though there are like Lionel triple bow shots will do more damage, and I think probably the 5-shot Lionel bow is for sure the most powerful bow in the game. I think the Eagle Bow is the best because not only does it do really good damage, it also has the same range as the Falcon Bow, and when it breaks with a diamond and some wood and a swallow bow, you can make it again, or have it made again. So it's like infinite triple shot bow that does good damage and an excellent range. So the only downside to a triple shot bow at that point is that every arrow you shoot, you can't recover. So I'm going to activate the... I'm going to go buy some stuff, but before I drop down to do that, I'm going to activate the Von Meadow quest. Talk to the owl. He's going to ask about my Sheikah Slate. Yep. I'm going to listen, sure. Okay, so we talk to him. Gonna come over here, talk to her. She's gonna tell us where her husband is, but we're also going to have a cutscene. Our first memory. Can't skip this part, but can skip this part. So, we need to get to that shrine over there. And it is super cold over there, so now's a good time to equip our heat resistant. And I'm gonna climb, I think, here. Let's see, how high am I? So I think the problem is that the wind is blowing away from there. I think I can climb up a little bit higher here. If I can get... I'm not sure I can whistle sprint that, so I'm actually going to eat one of my lower meals. Because I'm pretty sure that I can just hang out here. And now I'm going to jump over to this guy. And I think you can just climb up to that, but I'm going to be impatient and eat my way up there, basically. can't use the sprint. It's too steep. You just fall off. Again, I'm not afraid to use up. Oh no! Don't do it. Don't fall. So, if I organize this, you see I got a bunch of the enduring stuff, so although that was lame that I... Anyway, finally. And I often will just use this guy because it does 40 damage, so it's an automatic single hit. And it has decent durability. I find that if I sort of stand up on this pedestal, I've always found the apple drop ones of these to be kind of a pain, but I find if I put my camera kind of high, and that it's a little bit better. So from here, you can glide to that shrine. And I like getting those luminous stones in the Korok seed. I don't think it takes much longer to do that than it would have to either glide over close and then run over. Oh yeah. There are these two bokoblins here, one of which has a Dragonbone Moblin Club. So if you want to use... I think that the hot ticket there is if you've got your Thunderblade and your Thunderstorm Rod, yeah, you can just shock them and take their stuff and then leave or steal their horse. But I don't know why, but this is one of my favorite shrines. So I'm doing this, and when I'm done here, I'll have 8. I'll have 8 spirit orbs, so I'll go back to Rito Village, actually, buy the stuff I want to buy, and go to the goddess statue, get 2 more stamina vessels. So what I find is good, let me get over here first. So I like to not be gliding from here, but if you look up here, you can see the ladder. So what I find is best is you want Link to be facing the same direction as he will be on the ladder. If he's facing away from it, he won't turn, he'll miss the ladder. But if he's facing the ladder, you can just nudge him to the ladder and he'll grab on. You don't have to worry about that platform. But you gotta get him facing that right direction. So here, up there is a chest with a bow in it. But again, we don't need it. Here I'm gonna have him facing this way. Even though he's going into this space, he's going in this way, because you have to go back and forth. And I find that if I have him facing that way, I tend to, again, I would drop down and be stopped over there, so line up, but, or you can, but I find that's best. So anyway, I just go to the monk.